Hey guys, this is Sarah Stephenson and this is Mike Stephenson.
Hi guys.
We're from Boys and Ghouls Film Review, and we're back and we're happy about it.
Yay!
Yay! So
we've had a nice break over Christmas, haven't
yeah, I know you guys have been wondering why we couldn't continue throughout New Year, but well, you know, I wanted a break for a while.
Well, it's been a long year, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, irrespective.
Folks.
What are we doing tonight, Sarah?
Well, we're doing a movie called I Am Dragon, which is a Russian movie that was done in 2000 or released in 2015.
Actually, I'll expand this just a little bit because
expand.
I think it's got several names. German. I've got a German name as well, but the English title is I Am Dragon, and there's two Russian titles. He's a Dragon or He is Dragon. So if you're looking for this, we found it on YouTube, was it?
Yep.
Yeah, on YouTube, and it came in as what He is Dragon.
Yeah, and I think that we got a dub English version of it.
Yeah,
So we were lucky.
I don't understand one word of Russian.
Yeah, and neither do I, sadly enough.
Sad.
Yeah, so this is the movie we're going to review tonight. So let's get down to who directed and who cast in it. Shall we, Mike?
Let's shall.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to do all the Russian names?
I guess so, because considering I'm a bad...
Yeah, we're pretty damn bad at this, but hey, I'm going to give it my best shot, okay?
Oh, whatever.
Now, here we go. Produced by Timur Bekmambetov, maybe, Natalia Smirnova, Igor Say, Maria Zatulovsky, and Yakov Godin. Now directed by Indar Zendebaev. That's a mouthful. And he was also one of the co-writers. There was Indar, his name again, and Sergei Dyachenko, and Askley Azanev. How's that? Now, this is based on a book called The Ritual, a 1996 book by Marina and Sergei Dyachenko.
Yeah, and unknown to probably that particular book, this is sort of described as another Beauty and the Beast themed movie, supposedly. But there's slight differences here and there.
A little bit.
A little. But I will explain that further when we dive into the story.
Somewhat. Mm-hmm. Anyway, like I said before, originally in Russian. Mm-hmm. The copy we managed to download through YouTube had English dubbing done to it. Now, budget. Interesting this, it cost $18 million to make, $18 million, and box office worldwide did about $10 million. But they believe in their figures as a world release, this is pretty good for a Russian movie because obviously they don't have too much success outside of Russia. So, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, so I'll tell you guys a bit about the story before we dive into reviews for this movie. So the story starts off years and years and years ago. This takes place in the Dark Ages, or sort of
a long
then.
time ago.
And where maidens and virgins were sacrificed to the dragon. Or dragons, I should say. Well, actually, there's just one dragon in this case.
Mr. Dragon.
Yes. All different generations of dragon. So anyway, that each maiden gets selected, dressed in white, like a wedding gown, sort of, if you will.
Lovely.
And it's not, it's sort of like a tragic, event, mostly, because the women are floated out to the lake, in the middle of the lake, and slowly they get plucked off by the dragon, and they get taken away.
Somewhat.
And unfortunately, one of the men of the village, who is possibly the husband or fiance to that said one of the women that was going to be sacrificed, went on a long journey to go to the island where the dragon lives and kill it and try to find his beloved. But unfortunately, his beloved was slaughtered and all that stuff. And
Fun.
And they thought many years later that the dragons were all destroyed. Well, just one dragon anyway.
Well, they didn't know there's more than one dragon.
Yeah, what can you
See,
do?
dragons have babies.
True. I will get to that detail very
Sex is a
shortly.
wonderful thing, folks.
Well, I'll get to that detail very shortly. So anyway, a few years later, the ritual that was with the maidens has been transformed into a wedding bit of a ceremony.
Wedding thingy.
Yes. Anyway, the king of this land is going to give his youngest daughter to Igor, the son of the dragon slayer.
Hey, what if Igor works at Dr. Frankenstein or something?
Yeah, this dragon slayer is the same man who went ahead and killed the dragon in the beginning of the story. So he is given the right to have the youngest daughter. And technically, when I think about it, it shouldn't be the oldest daughter first. I don't know.
Well, normally it is, but hey, it's just the way it is in this story.
Yeah.
Hey.
Anyway, the youngest is named Maya.
Hey, were you thinking that Ben-Hur was it Ben-Hur?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah, the old one. She wasn't the one lining up for her to marry Ben-Hur, but she was out minding the sheep or something or other.
Yeah.
That all the other younger girls hanging around him trying to flirt with him.
Oh, you mean Ten Commandments?
Ten Commandments, yeah.
That's one.
Yeah, Ten Commandments, yeah.
That's all right.
So she was the oldest one. She was out minding the flock while the other ones were in the tent dancing around and trying. Well, pick one of them.
Yeah.
That's a good way to get a bride, isn't it?
So anyway, so Maya, who's the king's daughter, she's getting prepared, and at the time she's a little child, like say young.
Well, maybe 16 or something.
16 or 15.
Young, mid-teens maybe.
Mid-teens. Yeah. And like most people, they would often consider that as a trophy bride when you think about it. Anyway, her sister teases her, telling her that she's young, she technically is not exactly in love with Igor. But then again, if you're in arranged marriages, do you ever fall in love?
Good question.
I'm not going to pick at that because I don't know too many arranged marriages. Did they ever fall in love with one another? So
it's a problem.
So anyway, the king tells his daughter to grow up and hopefully very soon she'll be able to finally find love, that she'll be able to
throw away her childish things.
Yes.
She's going to be a woman now.
Yeah, and become a duchess, according to him.
Well, she's going to marry a duke, and that's normally how it goes. So,
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, they put her on a raft, and they then send her off onto the lake.
Yeah, and he's supposed to get a rope and pull across the lake.
Yeah. Yes.
I'd rather just walk around the lake or get a
Igor
horse.
is really...
It's a bit easier,
Yeah, Igor in this is really handsome. Like, ooh, hot.
Well,
ooh.
he is. It reminds me of Beauty and the Beast,
Yeah.
Gaston. I'm clever, I'm brave, I'm a good hunter.
Well,
and
technically,
blah, blah, blah.
he's...
One of those sort of guys,
Yeah.
Full of himself.
But then very soon you find out he is a very egotistical fella.
Yeah. I'm wonderful, I'm fantastic, I love me, do you love me as well? Yeah?
Yes. Anyway, he's more... I think he's more interested in becoming a duke than being anything else.
And that's just Ducky.
Yes. Anyway, we flash forward because this movie goes back and forth a lot, and somehow she gets abducted by the dragon, and actually I won't go back. I will try to explain it a little bit more fully. Somehow Igor's people, they sing the dragon summoning song.
Yeah,
as a bit of a dedication to his grandfather, who was the dragon slayer, as I mentioned earlier. But somehow, dear old, the dragon arrives, takes Maya, and they head off to the island.
Well, she was cute.
And of course, the dragon struggles, and he kind of sends her down into a pit that makes it hard for the dragon to come into.
Now, there is a bit of story. I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit here. You can come back. See, this dragon is the son of the dragon that got killed.
Yeah.
And he's a virgin. This is the first time he's ever taken anybody as a hostage or a sacrifice. So.
Yes. Anyway, the dragon does turn back into a human, as we discussed, and it's sort of like a were-dragon or a werewolf sort of thing when you think
Well,
about
yeah,
it.
he's human, but he turns into a dragon when his passion gets up or
Yeah,
something,
like
or
or
he gets
something.
summoned or something,
Or
whatever.
something.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so Mia's inside the pit and she meets the man, and that's supposedly our dragon.
Well, she thinks he's another prisoner.
Yes, and for a time she's a little scared and she tries to make a plan to try to get out of there. There's also a weird creature I can't really name
Yeah, it looks
because
something like
it
somewhere
looks.
between halfway
It's,
between a wombat and a dog.
yeah, it's like yeah, it reminds me a little bit of a koala because of its like, fluffy ears.
Yeah, it looks really cute.
Yeah. Anyway, it's
I
adorable.
want one. Oh, that's not real, is it?
Yes,
Okay.
and somehow it's friend of the dragon or befriends the man and
Well,
the dragon.
The man who would be dragon.
Yes.
That's a good name for no, sorry.
So anyway, our hero she tries her hardest to get out of there, and eventually she finds out that he's a dragon, the man. I mean, and he shows her his power, but somehow along the lines, well, she's completely freaked out.
Well, yeah. In my spare time, I'm a dragon. Gee.
Yeah.
Right, really
Anyway,
good.
she tries to wait for any passage to ships on the island.
But no one can see the island. It's mystical.
Yes.
See, where she sees sun and blue skies, any passing ships see a fog.
Yeah.
So they can't. So the island is totally hidden all the time.
Yeah.
Rather sinister, hey. Pretty
Very
good.
sinister.
And actually, you find out too, the island is the shape of a big dead dragon.
A very big dragon.
Yeah, like you wouldn't believe
Yeah.
how big. Yeah. And it's the skeleton of the dragon that
Yeah,
living on.
and to a lot of people who rode past, they'll never know.
Nah, bug that, eh?
Yeah. So anyway, back to our story. She then the dragon she names the man Armon.
Yeah,
And which means looked it up, means warrior. I think.
lovely.
Well, not really warrior.
Oh,
I
something
think
or
it was
other.
something else. I
You
can't
should have written
remember.
it down, hey.
Sorry, guys.
Uh-huh.
I was just looking up names and I tried to figure out the meaning towards them.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, he's means misty.
Mysterious?
Mysterious.
There you go. Aha.
So
There
anyway.
you go, folks. He's mysterious.
Yeah. So anyway, she tries to revive him and looks after him, and there was even a moment when she was tearing off a bit of her robe to clear up some scars.
Always the way, isn't
And
it?
when she's rubbing his chest, accidentally the dragon within him starts burning or
His skin starts to change
React
into a
funny.
reddy colour. It looks like he's going to morph
close.
into the dragon every time she touches him. So there's a problem.
Yeah. So anyway, she sings a soft lullaby to calm the dragon and the man within him.
Rockabye dragon on the treetop.
It was kind of a nice thing, and it seemed to calm the dragon for a bit. And yeah.
No, sorry.
Next morning, she asks Armand to maybe transform into the dragon and send her back to her people. But there's a bit of a problem there because the Armand can't control the dragon.
Yeah, if he becomes a dragon, he might eat her or hurt her or something or other.
Yeah, so he can't really take her home again.
I'll take you home again, Kathleen. Sorry.
So anyway, he says that the only way for her to get off the island is if her beloved comes to the island and rescues her. And of course,
lovely.
there's a bit of a snag there too,
Ooh,
because meanwhile while this was all happening, Igor and his men are sailing around the in this fog, can't find the island.
Yeah, there's a trick to this. They'll never find the guy, the suitor, the boyfriend, the betrothed, the husband. He'll never be able to find his woman unless her love is strong enough to attract him. Is that how it goes?
Yeah. I like to think that the only reason his grandfather made the journey because he's had such a strong love for his beloved.
And
And Igor,
likewise, she
and
loved
Igor
him.
is not remotely in love with
And she
Maya.
wasn't totally in love with him either. It was like a marriage of convenience. Like you come together through family sort of thing.
That's how I was thinking.
Well,
So anyway, soon enough, Armand suggested that she stays and suggested a nice spot inside the of a nice part to a cave in the dragon.
Looks really good, actually.
Yeah, it looks like living inside a shell.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, or a skull.
Yeah. So anyway, she decides to make it livable by using some of the stuff from boats that were washed up on the shore.
Old materials and carpets and everything.
Yeah, merchant ships or stuff like that.
A few odds and sods, but a bit of home and garden sort of stuff,
Yeah, it looked really cool. It looks like something, and she found a few dresses, lots of fancy stuff.
Yeah. She looked a bit better now, didn't she?
Yeah, she looked great, and Armand looked pretty much great when he started.
He started with decent clothes and rags.
Yeah, because he started realizing that the dragon isn't coming out very much, and think that maybe his human side is getting stronger, which I think could be a mixture of what's going on.
Probably.
Anyway, he even shows her some interesting, wondrous things by one night he shows her special celestial flowers that are like fireworks.
Yeah. Celestial flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like 4th of July.
I guess that
America.
inspires her to probably use those same things to send a signal to her fiance.
A passing ship, hopefully her fiance. Anyway,
of course, she's put together a pack of things that she's going to need, and she has hidden away a boat, obviously, but she's having second thoughts about going now.
Yeah, she's starting to fall in love with her captor, is it word?
Yeah, that's the word.
So you made a comment the other day, a bit like the Stockholm syndrome. It is not the Stockholm syndrome.
Well, unintentionally, the dragon is sort of kidnapped her.
Yeah, but the point is,
Armand doesn't want to.
He wasn't a nasty guy. They summoned him, and that was his job to pick her up. It's like a taxi. You hail a taxi, he's going to pick you up and take you somewhere.
Yeah, true.
He's not necessarily going to eat you or kill you. Hope not, anyway.
Hope not.
Have you ever watched? You're a funny bunch.
Have you ever watched the Bone Collector?
Yeah, okay.
Was it the? Who cares?
Curious turkeys.
So anyway, moving on. So as the story goes, she eventually is still drawn to Armand, but she's actually frightened of the dragon. She even had a dream of the dragon stalking her, and its chest burning a bright, flamey color.
Yes,
because that's
great special effects, man.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, later that day, she puts together a kite, and Armand starts feeling things for her, and he even the dragon nearly comes out because the dragon feels what Armand's feeling.
Yeah, and that emotional part triggers the adrenaline or something inside him, which stimulates the dragon morphing. And it's really interesting. Yeah.
And then we hear a little bit more of a detailed side to Armand's past and his family's history, I guess.
Yeah, he's following the
somehow the maidens that the dragons abducted over the years, they get taken to the island, obviously, and they are put on a special altar, I think.
Yep.
And which the dragons would burn the maidens alive.
I wouldn't take them to a barbecue, or the meat will be burnt.
Yeah, so the maidens get burnt, and after they're burnt to ashes, the born from the ashes is a baby.
A little
meaning
baby,
another born. This is how dragons are created.
A bit like a C-section.
Yeah, sort of. Except a little bit more horrible.
Yeah, well, the baby survived.
Or how I see it is more like a phoenix being burnt, and then
phoenix rising from the ashes is not the same thing. It's supposed to be
sort of similar.
The beastie. Actually, when you think about the dragons and stuff, I like dragons in culture. Yeah, they had the Mother of Dragons in the Game of Thrones, which you haven't seen, and they were quite good. I think it's 3 big dragons as her pets.
Yeah,
Very
so
nice.
anyway, so Armand already is aware of the fact she hidden away a boat and some supplies, and he's annoyed that she doesn't want to stay with him any longer, even though he knows right away that the dragon's Igor was going to come eventually to pick her up.
Yeah.
He
was really overjoyed.
And he wasn't going to he wasn't going to step in and force her to stay or anything like that.
Well,
Anyway, he then tells her to go because the dragon was starting to come out in him, and he fortunately forces himself inside a special small cave inside a small cliff.
Yeah, there's a cave of a small opening, so if he gets in there and he turns himself into a dragon, the dragon can't get out because he's too big. So yeah, what a good way to self...
which kind of explains why there was no more dragon. Which explains why the town thought there was no more dragons and that they didn't see one for the last few years.
Yeah, because he'd been hiding, so he wouldn't. He hasn't been summoned either.
Yeah, true. But maybe the dragon within him maybe wanted to come.
When he felt it, he locked himself away, but he hadn't been summoned. So his dad was being summoned there to take the virgin sacrifices away and that sort of stuff. Yeah. But no, he wouldn't be summoned. So yeah.
So anyway, as we go on, I think his father was probably killed by the same dragon slayer that killed that's Igor's grandfather, I think. I'm not sure.
Whatever.
I could be wrong. I mean, he's the only dragon slayer we have heard about since the story
That's
started.
a job that's gone by the wayside over the decades.
What?
That's a job that's gone by the wayside over the decades. There's not too many candlestick makers anymore since electricity came around, and you don't see too many dragon slayers in the phone book.
Ha ha ha.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
So anyway, well, it's my theory. Maybe it's just that he travelled so long to get to the island. Who knows?
He was pooped.
Yes. Shut up.
What?
Anyway, now that Armand's aware of this, that Mia's been hiding things from him. She then takes the boat and heads off to find Igor, and using the special fireworks and whatever stuff she may have on her, she was able to signal Igor.
And she found her beloved.
Yeah, at first.
But
her
attitude changed.
Yeah, and for some reason, Igor's attitude changed. He
it.
didn't want to stick around hovering over the mist any longer. He wanted to leave.
She thought she must have been dead.
Yeah.
He didn't care, so he wanted to stay.
He did. Yeah, his second or his
or his assistant
or whatever. He's all up for finding Mia, but
we'll search forever and try to find it. Yeah.
I like to think that
what a nice
his
guy.
servant may have been in love with Maya's sister. I think I'm not
Possibly.
sure. I can't really say because there's no.
It wouldn't come out in the
There's
story.
nothing there.
It might be in the book, but it wasn't in the movie. No.
Yeah. So anyway, they find Mia, and she says the dragon is dead, to prevent them going to the island and probably finding Armand.
Okay.
So anyway, we then we flash forward to a second wedding being prepared.
A second attempt to have a wedding.
Yes. So Mia's there, and she's slowly meditating over the fact that she is getting married to a man she didn't even like.
Getting married in the morning.
And her dad has changed his behavior. Like, he's relieved to have his daughter back, and that everything's going to be fine.
Normal-ish.
And so anyway, meanwhile, while this was all happening, Armand is attempting to take his own life.
Yeah, he's a sad little dragon.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want to stick around any longer to watch, to continue this agony of being a dragon and being a man. So he decides to jump off the cliff, and using a special gift to avoid the dragon waking up, he sings the dragon to sleep while he's falling.
Yeah, trying to kill himself, and it's a big drop too.
Yeah, it's a very big drop. Trust me, we've seen it. So anyway, while they're doing this special ritual where she's being pulled across the lake, she suddenly jumps up and says she doesn't love Igor and that she loves the dragon. And Igor, not taking this lying down, he continues to pull on the rope to get her to
bring his betrothed to him.
But fortunately, she takes the rope and throws it into the water.
Then she starts singing the dragon summoning song.
Yeah, she starts singing it, and the crowd grows silent.
Oh dear.
And as she ends, we think for a minute, oh no, could it be that Armand's dead? Oh no. And Igor is still a little annoyed that she prefers the dragon over him.
Dumped at the altar. Oh,
yeah.
Shame.
But just then, we see the dragon and he then appears, and he then grabs onto Mia's waist and hurls her away. And while this is happening, her dad is looking on, saying that you finally found the right man to be with.
Yeah.
And at one point, Igor was about to probably either kill both Dragon and Maya, but fortunately his servant comes in and punches him.
Yes, leave her alone. She's made a choice.
There was a bit
she chose a better man.
There was a bit of a moment between Maya's sister and Igor's servant.
Yeah.
And it looked like a peaceful niceness there. So anyway, the dragon flies off. He takes her back to the island, and as he's about to put her on the altar, Maya quickly grabs the dragon's face and kisses his face, or kisses him.
Yeah.
But at first, the dragon is a little bit surprised.
Yes. She accepts him as a dragon. A bit like Beauty and the Beast, you mentioned before, that she accepts him as a dragon and as a man.
Yeah, and the dragon gets a little surprised, because dragons don't get kissed very often.
No, that's why he's so angry all the time.
Yeah, and then she calms him and says to him that he's just used to everyone being afraid of him all the time, and how he's not used to being loved, and she loved both the man and the dragon. Eventually the dragon calmly rests his head on her knees, and she slowly tells the dragon to stay in this form for a bit until she gets used to him.
Yeah, and just patting him and just resting, and it was so nice.
And then we flash forward to Armand telling his story to his little daughter, and this could be about 3 or 4 years later.
4 years later, yeah.
So he tells her, and his daughter is asking, where did I come from? Where did dragon babies come from? And he's about to tell her the horrible story, but then Maya appears, all healthy and nicely dressed, and tells her child that baby dragons come from the sky.
And they did actually, because they went up in the clouds and had sex. Because we see that at the end of the movie where he flies as a dragon. He flies up in the clouds.
He and Maya fly into the clouds, and just like something magical, somehow Armand turns back into his human self.
But they're up in the clouds.
I like to think that was probably something that the dragons didn't know they could do.
Actually, a question.
Yes.
So you got on the dragon.
Yep.
And she's hanging on to his horns.
Yep.
To go upstairs to have a bit of rumpty-bumpty, you know. Were they his love handles?
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, I'm just wondering. I'll have to hang on to something.
Do I have to hear that from you?
Okay, well, I was just wondering.
Yes, so anyway.
I saw Lucifer. He had love handles. Sorry.
Don't go there.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, that's the story, and I think it's a pretty awesome story, and unlike the Beauty and the Beast one, where he turns back into a human and doesn't have to worry about being a beast anymore, but in this case, I think it's good that she accepts that in this movie that he stays a bit of a dragon, but at the same time he's
I
still a
wonder if he
man.
got more control over the dragon over the years.
I think he did. After the dragon accepted Mia, that the dragon finally accepted that he and Armon are in love with
Yeah,
the
like Superman and Clark Kent, it's that sort of stuff.
Yeah. But I gotta admit, I do like how the story ends, and I do like the complete all the story. It's pretty awesome, and I do
Really
think it was a bit annoying that the reviews on this was not
Well, no, the reviews
cool,
weren't that bad,
flavorful.
but the distant box office problem, because being a Russian movie made in Russia and then open to the world market, it doesn't hit the mainstream. It goes to art house and a few
I
things.
remember
Maybe television.
a French version of Beauty and the Beast. This was a few years ago.
La Bella and the Bestia, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That went completely completely international, and even I even seen it, the copy of it in JB Hi-Fi on DVD there. So that's.
Yeah, but this is Russia. It's not
I know,
French.
but it's French, and the actors were French, and it's got subtitles
but
and stuff like that.
There's a bit more credibility probably with France and Italy, those sort of places, against what Russia has to go through trying to break into the world market.
I just mean that not too many.
Maybe.
Not too many of those movies go international. Like
No. So it's like watching the well, in Australia, SBS, which is a foreign TV station, and we do get a lot of European and Asian movies coming through, and they're in the foreign language. They're all subtitled now. My wife, she likes watching those because the storylines are quite good. I haven't got great eyesight, and I find it very hard watching subtitles. So I don't watch too many of those unless it's something really good.
yeah.
Like
Anyway,
Passion of the Christ was good. That was all in subtitles. I could watch that, but sometimes the subtitles are too hard to read, and I just don't bother. So this one, being dubbed, made it really easy for me to enjoy. So,
I certainly liked it when we heard her say the summoning dragon song in English. The rest of the time it was all in Russian or whatever language it was.
Well, probably.
Because that was when there was a crowd singing it, obviously.
Yeah, they would.
There's no way you
they
could-
would have used the original soundtrack for the singing. Yeah.
There's no way of dubbing the whole people in the background, obviously.
But no, they're having the ethnic and the English language, whether it's going to be Russian in this case, a mixture of silence works because it gives that sort of keeps a mystery and the feel going and everything else. Yeah.
I certainly liked it. I mean, I liked it when how she sang it. It sounded like she it was just like she's accepting the dragon and even though it describes the song that that her life is doomed, all that stuff, but I like to think that it's nice that it kind of feels nice when she sings it.
Anyway.
That's probably one of my favorite scenes where she gets abducted but the second time, and it seems I've kind of rewatched that scene over and over because I love that scene where he just comes and she accepts him,
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to talk a bit of some of the production and stuff now. Now this was, I think a lot of filming was taken in the Black Sea area, which was obviously, if it's Russia, it's close to the Black Sea, so why not?
Handy.
Yeah, very handy. 85% of the movie contained computer graphics.
No surprise there.
So, and I believe the computer graphics were done by a Russian company. They didn't ferry it out to another company, America or England or anywhere else. They did it there. So obviously their field in computer graphics is quite good because I thought the graphics were quite good. What do you reckon?
I think so. I thought it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, rather impressive. Now, what are main scenes? Black Sea. And there's a place called the Prohodna Cave, which some of the filming got done, completed in. I think that's the Black Sea area as well. What else? Black Sea coast. I think the town Sinmoretz. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sinmoretz, I think it's called, a little town on the Black Sea. That's where they did the filming for the township. Around the Black Sea. They didn't have to go too far, so it worked out quite good. And the rain scenes were shot in Moscow. See, there you go. They didn't travel too far abroad, and they kept at home the computer graphics crowd and everything else. And so they did well. Now, we did talk about the critical response. Now, it wasn't that bad, but just that, like I said, it got reasonably good reviews, except for one review thought it was boring, but that person might not like these sort of fantasy type movies. Okay, so
he may not like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or whatever.
So
or The Hobbit.
And The Hobbit, yeah. So they were mixed reviews, but they were sort of in the mid ranges, but they just didn't go too good on the worldwide market for box office. So it's probably gone more so to end up on DVDs and television syndication and whatever. So you can't really go by box office for this one. I think this is a good movie.
I think so
Look,
too.
I don't like foreign movies as much as I like, say, American, English, and Australian movies, but sometimes they get it right, and I think this is one of the right ones.
Yeah, it's just such a shame that it went unnoticed till now.
Well, it went under the radar because it's not going to get promoted over here, is it?
True.
Or probably wouldn't get promoted anywhere else either because it just goes straight to DVD or TV on the foreign TV stations in whatever country.
Like maybe on SBS. Who knows?
Well, we've got a SBS Australia, but I don't know what they've got in America and England and other countries, but they might have foreign radios and TV stations having that sort of product. And it might just popped up there. I just hope they got their money back because obviously...
I certainly like the characters the actors they casted in this movie. I mean, I like it when they get under the radar actors to play in the story.
We don't have it under the radar. They're Russians.
Okay, I mean, I just mean that not well-known ones.
They're Russians. They're not known in the world market. You see?
I know.
But the girl was rather cute, sweet, innocent type, and that's what you wanted because she's supposed to be a virgin and everything else and yada. So she looked the part. She looked very nice. A very, very attractive young girl. What's her name? I hate Russian names. Please, if I make a mistake here, I don't really mean to insult anybody. But this young lady, Maria Pozhavina. Whatever. She played Princess Miroslava, or Mira, and a guy called Matvey Linkov played Armand, the dragon. And he didn't look too bad either.
Yeah, I think that...
He had that lean, gaunt sort of look about him.
I gotta admit though, he's... I'm not going to be rude here, but I often thought his body reminded me of those interesting sculptures from Renaissance when I think about it.
Well, they probably picked that sort of thing, those finely chiseled features and stuff. Yeah, and it's interesting. But I think the casting was good. Look, the acting style from Asia and Europe and the Middle East is different to what you would expect in an American or English or whatever movie. Of course, the acting's a little bit different. Once you get past that, I've got no problem. Good movie.
I did like the little creature. This
little dog thing, whatever it's called. An AA, I think it was called. A-Y-E, an AA, which looked like, say, a dog with a koala bear head or a wombat head.
They actually never named the creature. I mean, they never said...
He didn't need a name. Armand didn't even have a name until she named him.
Yeah, but then again, if you were living on an island, guys, say, hypothetically, that you were born on an island and you were never named...
well, what name would you go by?
What name would you go by?
Hey, you over there in the corner? Who's going to call you?
Exactly.
His dad had died earlier.
Yeah.
Some stupid guy killed him,
Yeah. Well, I think it was the grandfather that considering that the fact that after the grandfather killed the dragon, then no more dragons were, hovering around. You wonder how long the dragons live for. Because I'm wondering, because if Mira's grandfather No, not Mira's. It was Igor's
Igor's
grandfather.
grandfather, right? If Igor's grandfather, not his father, his grandfather killed Armand's dad, Armand should be a lot older.
Yeah, it should be.
Unless dragons age slower.
Unless this mystical island allows him to, age differently.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really guessing.
Who knows?
I don't know much about.
So dragons might live a lot longer than
But
us. Look at Yoda was 700 years old.
Again, I like to think that maybe, just maybe, that the grandfather, he may have been searching long and hard, like years and years, like not just a few months or a week.
He would have had to go get her and come back and have sex and have babies. So, Igor or whatever his name was going to get born eventually. You don't have geriatrics having babies.
I know. I just imagine his grandfather may have taken a few years because he'd be the only one out there who may have been able to find the island.
Yeah, because he loved his wife, or betrothed, and she loved him, and that love brought them together. That's why Buglugs couldn't find Mira, because
his love wasn't strong.
His love wasn't there. He loved himself more than he loved her.
Yeah, he practically was going to give up the moment they couldn't find her anymore.
Too hard, let's go home. Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah, he was not, even his second thought, he was not as brave as his grandfather.
No. It is all talk and no action.
Yeah.
Probably the same in the bedroom. Well, we won't go there, because he didn't get the girl in the end either, did he?
Yeah, if the roles were reversed, and he turned out to be, he did save Mira in the dragon sense, killing the dragon and then saving the damsel, I guess he would become the hero, right?
I didn't like him.
Me neither.
He reminded more of Gaston in the Beauty and the Beast story, and he loved himself more than anything else. So yeah.
Or he thought he was looking forward to becoming a duke more than looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's interesting. He was marrying her because she was a duchess, and he was going to become a duke.
Yeah.
He was going up a step.
Yeah.
That's why he wanted to marry her.
Yeah,
you little sleaze bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
do you want to rate this movie before I forget?
Okay. Now, I try to be fair when I rate movies. Now, I'm not going to compare this to an American movie or an English movie or whatever, because it's a Russian movie, so it's coming from the continent. Okay. Now, I have seen movies from Italy and France or whatever, and I think it's up there with those guys, and they make pretty good movies there, and I think this is up there. I think it holds its own, so I'm going to give it, say, a 9.
I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
Because it had a good story, good costumes, good script, and
stuff.
And
the CGI wasn't bad.
The CGI was incredibly well done.
Yeah, so I must admit, CGI looked real. I mean, the dragon scenes and him morphing and different things, they were good. Yeah, I mean, that's to me, it brings that sense of reality into a fantasy where things look real. And that's where some movies leave alone. If it's too ridiculous, it doesn't feel real, and people don't like them as much.
Well, that's the thing about European movies, or if you did it if America did it, they just research this stuff. But in some countries, they have a bit of a bigger knowledge of this stuff.
Well, yeah, because it's part of their folklore and history, and this was, again, I probably said it before on podcast, when you go and make a movie out of a book which has been written pretty good, a good, interesting book, there's a good chance that the screenplay is going to be just as good as the book if you've got a good screenwriter, and then you throw a good team together, good director of photography and whatever, and some good actors, you're going to pull it home and going to make a good movie. And I think this is one of those times.
Yeah,
it's like Suspiria, which we must have a look at, the original one.
Yes, we'll definitely check that out.
Was that French or Italian?
Italian, I think.
Yeah, that's a good movie. I think we're doing maybe a few weeks time.
Yeah, you guys may not heard this, but Suspiria was remade, and
yeah, the remake wasn't as good as the original.
The original director was so angry at the people who did it.
Yeah.
He didn't want them to remake the movie.
If the first movie's a really good movie and it's been done well, don't remake it. Leave it alone.
And don't ask the director if you can do this.
Yeah.
If they say no, leave it at that.
Hey, by the way, just so our friends know, I just had my birthday the other week. I've just turned. Come on, how old am I?
100?
No. I do feel like 100 some mornings. No, I just turned 67. You saw a picture of me recently. That's Halloween photographs. Mm-hmm. That's what a grumpy old 66-year-old looks like on a bad day.
Yeah. Yeah. Mike got a really awesome present from me too. I'm not gonna tell him.
Well, I haven't seen it yet.
I'm not gonna.
Well, I saw it, but yeah, you're still sitting in the cupboard. Haven't given it to me.
No.
Yeah, not very nice. You forgot. You bought it late. It was stuck in the post. Yeah.
Anyway, you'll love it when you see it.
Whatever. But I might get it tonight if I'm lucky. Whatever it is.
So anyway, guys, I think that's all we have to say tonight. So it's great to be back.
Yay!
You hear our enthusiasm on.
I'm looking forward. Sarah's agreed to let me choose some of the movies this year.
Well, we'll see.
Come on.
We'll negotiate on that part.
It's only going to be some old sci-fi. Like I want to do things like Forbidden Planet and Fantastic Voyage and Maroon. That was a really good space one. Yeah, some really good old ones where we went from the cheesy sci-fis into high-class sci-fis where they start actually paying more attention to doing good sets and good filming of space and stuff where it changed. And that's what you got to look at. So when it changed from sleazy cardboard cutouts into something more substantial. Yeah, that sort of stuff.
Yes, so this is Sarah Stephenson.
And Michael.
Saying we'll see you guys next time on Boys and Ghouls Film Review.
Well, I don't know about seeing them.
Okay, you'll be hearing from us.
Exactly. You keep saying, I'll see you later.
Don't go there.
We haven't got a video phone here. We're not doing a...
No. So, we'll hopefully you'll hear from us soon. So, bye guys.
In a couple of days. Bye. See ya.